Welcome everybody to this month's episode of Treats and Eats with Krista and Jody. Yay! So this month we are going to be featuring March monthly specials from Thrive Life, and we're going to be doing soups, sweets, and a bonus smoothie recipe that you didn't all know about. So I'm super excited for it. They're going to be delicious. We have 5 recipes to share tonight. And for those of you who don't know us, we are 2 Thrive consultants. We help busy moms save time and money in the kitchen, cooking with healthy, delicious, freeze-dried food. We've been doing this for 12 years, I think. And so I would say that we're experts, but we do it a lot. We cook with this food a lot. And so we love sharing it with you guys. So tonight we are going to start, I'm going to start first cooking. So I'm going to angle this so you can see me. So Thrive just announced oh, am I big?
You're good.
Okay, you look big too.
You're good.
Okay, so our first recipe is going to be a green smoothie. Thrive just announced a St. Patrick's Day sale, so we're gonna make some green food. So what is on sale is green peppers. Don't worry, I'm not gonna put green peppers in my smoothie because I don't think that would be very delicious. We also have zucchini. It will be fine in the smoothie, I promise. And then kale. My kale can looks purple. I think they changed the color on the can to look more green, but actually inside it's green. So it is green foods, I promise. And, oh yeah, green peppers, kale, zucchini, and the last one is apricots. So I think this is the gold, like for the pot of gold, because they're pretty golden. So I'm gonna make a green smoothie. I have a simple equation for green smoothies, but I'm cutting it in half because I didn't need to make a huge smoothie, but a lot of times people will try to drink a quart of green smoothie in a day, or sometimes split up in a day, but I'm gonna do about half a quart. So what I do is I start with a cup of water, and then you can do kale or spinach as kind of the base, like that's a normal green smoothie base. I'm gonna do about like 1/8 of a cup just because kale and spinach are pretty potent because they're like mashed up little, and if you do too much, it's gonna be gross, like wheatgrass or something. So don't do too much of that. And then you can do like a half a cup of zucchini for the rest of your greens. Maybe a little less than half a cup. So my equation is kind of like 3/4 cup, but so we're doing it about in half. So a little bit less than half a cup, probably total. So we got some greens in there, and then you take whatever fruit you want. So because the apricots were on sale, we're gonna do some apricots. So I will do about 1.5 cups of different fruits to finish this up. So when I'm doing a 4-quart smoothie, I'll do 3 cups of fruit. That's not a lot of fruit. And then I'm gonna do pineapple, because pineapple is also on sale. Now it's humid here, so this is what my pineapple currently looks like. But it is still awesome in smoothies, so I don't even care. I could put it in the fridge and get it to crisp back up, but it's actually still awesome in recipes. So I'm gonna do a little bit of pineapple, and then peaches are also on the March monthly specials. Now our peaches, if you notice those apricots, they're little teeny chunks. Little bitty guys. But the peaches are delicious, big, full peach slices. It's one of my favorite fried fruits. I'm not even measuring at this point, I'm just dumping. And then I always like to add bananas in my smoothies because they just give it a nice consistency and texture. So a little bit of bananas, okay? Then you just throw in some ice and you smoothie it up. It's gonna be loud. So one second. Depending on what fruits you use, it changes color. So when I do blackberries, it's like a purple smoothie, but this is more of like a puke colored smoothie. So, but it's gonna be delicious. It smells good. It smells sweet. It smells like bananas and peaches. It does not smell like kale and zucchini, and your kids will love it. I have like cute pictures of my kids with their green mustaches from drinking green smoothies. So that is your St. Patrick's Day green smoothie. You can mix and match with whatever, but like I love shopping deals. I love shopping what's on sale, and so I love using the specials. So that sale goes from March 16th to March 20th, and those 4 items are 40% off if you buy them in cases. So I think it's 35% off if you just buy individual cans. So you're going to want to go ahead and order during that time frame. So we'll talk more about that at the end, how to get the best prices and free shipping. So the next recipe, oh, are you supposed to go first? Yes. I'm going to stop. Krista's going to go next. I forgot our order, you guys.
I'll be very quick.
I was just going. Okay, so we'll switch over.
No worries, it's all good. That's why we work really well together, is that we both are busy. We're just real people.
This is live TV. That's what you get.
Yes, it's live TV too. So I'm going to start a soup because it's got to start on the stove for a little while. But so I'm going to actually turn my little thingy down so you can see where I'm working, right? And so we're going to just, this is going to be really, really difficult. Okay. So really, really difficult. First off, I want to talk to you about celery. So this, do you see the differences between these two? What's the biggest difference? This celery is freaking huge. Excuse my French, but it is huge. And this is the way it comes in the can. So what I do, and see, this is how versatile this food is that when I open the can, I don't like these huge pieces. I like celery, but I don't want all of these huge pieces. So I literally dump my can out on my, my cutting board and I chop it to be this. Okay. And in talking about this is a difference in growers. So we can talk all day about how we grow our food and how wonderful it is and how our standards are really, really high. But you know, you'll run into this every once in a while. Your bananas will be not as thick as they were in the can before, or whatever. But you just kind of like, you do what you need to do, right? So this is how I prefer my celery, and this is how it comes. So I chopped it up and put it back in the can. Done. So just wanted to touch on that because we're here all about tips and tricks, right? So I'm going to dump my celery in here that's going in my soup. And then I've got a 1/4 cup of onions. I love these. I love these because I never, ever, ever have to chop an onion. It is amazing. I will throw them on top of, I will put them in soups, casseroles, my burger mix for onions in my burgers. I will throw them, sprinkle them on tacos so I don't have to chop an onion and use only 1/8 of it, right? And then have it go bad in my fridge and then I have to throw it away. These chopped onions are probably my favorite thing ever. Okay, so we're gonna put onions in here. Oh, you can tell it's cloudy here. I got a little humidified, even in the desert. This is a 1/2 cup of carrots. These are dehydrated. It's one of the very few products that we have that is dehydrated instead of freeze-dried. So most everything is freeze-dried, but our carrots are. Do you know what happens to a carrot when it's freeze-dried? It turns white. Not a great selling point for a carrot, right? So we're gonna throw those in there. Those are done. We're gonna throw some brown sugar in there. Okay. And then the recipe, which you guys are going to get since you were attending live, recipe calls for 3 cups of butternut squash, freeze-dried butternut squash. 3 cups are in a can. So I'm just going to leave it in the can and throw it in the pot. And then I've got my seasonings. So in here, I've got salt, cinnamon, powdered vanilla, and a little bit of chef's choice. This is a butternut squash soup. It was developed by Chef Todd. You may or may not know of him, but he created this recipe and it is amazing. But it's got a little sweetness to it, hence the brown sugar, right? But there's just a little tad of it, right? So we've got some sweet savory going on in this soup. So this is my mix of everything, and I'm going to go pour it in my these things in my pot that's on the stove behind me, right? So I'm going to take a spoon. I'm just going to mix these up really quick. So I've got 8.5 quarts of water on my stove. I'm going to I'm gonna bring you over too. So hold on just 2 seconds here.
8.5 cups, not quarts, right?
Yes, cups, not quarts.
That'd be a lot. Lot of water.
Okay. So let's see if can you see that? Is it even worth it to do this?
Oh yeah, we can see it.
You see it?
Perfect.
Boiling water. Okay. So this is really hard, people. Oh, crap. Live TV, people.
We have all done that at one time or another in our lives.
But have you done it on live TV?
I think I did it in a smoothie once, actually. So yeah.
Oh gosh. All right, there's my butternut squash. Here's the rest of everything else. And we are going to bring this to a boil and we're going to let it simmer for 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and stir it. Look at the colors. Do you see the colors come back to life? Look at those oranges. Oh my gosh. Even the celery comes back to green. It's pretty amazing. Okay. All right, so we're going to turn this down so it doesn't boil all over my stove. And we're going to have it simmer for 10 minutes, okay? All right. And then we're going to come back and we're going to finish everything off. The other thing that I am responsible for making tonight is a peach and pineapple cake. And I've actually made the cake. Here it is, already ready to go. And we are finishing off the icing. The cake takes about 40 minutes, so we don't want to take your guys' time. So we're trying to hurry. So and get you in and out of here, right? So back to you, Jody.
Okay, I'm gonna do my soup now. Good thing I caught myself. This soup is also pretty difficult. I don't know if you can handle it. It's a lot of open and pour. So this is a beef stew. I put 7 cups of water in it. This one is awesome for, you can do it as a meal in a jar. So everything's in the jar and you just dump it in. It's also a fun one to do as like a soup bar. So you can have everything out and then people can mix and match with what they want in it. So what I'm gonna do is throw in a tablespoon. So I have 7 cups of water starting to heat up in here. I'm gonna throw in a tablespoon of beef bouillon. Bouillon. Do you ever have a hard time spelling bouillon? I never can remember where it goes. And then there's going to be a little bit of thickener in this. That's the Espanol sauce. So this is a savory beef gravy. All of our sauces are gluten-free, which is awesome for people like me who have to be gluten-free. So I can thicken my soup just a little bit, but this is like a brothy soup. It's not a stewy soup. So it will just give it a nice beefy flavor and a little bit of a thickener. I probably should have grabbed a whisk instead of my spoon for that first part, but that's okay. It'll work out eventually. Okay, so then the beef that is on sale is small beef dices, but the beef that I have open in my cupboard were these larger sliced beef things. And so I don't like to have multiple things open if I don't need them. So I am using the bigger chunks tonight, but totally mix and match. And we always talk about that. Like use whatever you have on hand or whatever is on sale. So if you buy the beef this month and it's on sale, then use that. If you had some of the bigger beef chunks already in your food storage, then you can use that. So I usually, for a full batch of soup, will do 1 cup of the meat. So this is my little half cup measure. So I'm gonna do 2 half cups. And sometimes in like a beef stew, I don't mind having the bigger chunks. If you don't like big chunks of freeze dried, you can just make them into the smaller dices by breaking them apart like Krista does with the celery. Try is super versatile, you guys. Okay, now 2 vegetables that are on sale this month are mushrooms and green beans. So you can add those in your soup if you want. My family favorites, well, everyone always wants onions. I don't know why you would want onions. Just kidding, we all love onions. So I do quite a bit of onion. These are the onion slices. They're big chunks, but there are also chopped onions, and they're about that big. So again, it's a vegetable stew. I like the big chunks. And now my cat's gone. That's sad. I'm gonna open a new one. I like corn in my stew. Okay, so what I do is about a cup of the meat and then about 2 cups of veggies. So like I said, you can mix and match how much veggie, and it's not an exact science. It doesn't actually really matter what you put in it or how much, because you have enough water to make it work. So I've got carrots also. Now, if you add carrots, your soup's going to take longer to cook because, like Krista said, they are dehydrated. So the carrots can take more like 20 to 30 minutes to get fully softened, whereas the rest of the freeze-dried stuff might be 10 to 15. The meat sometimes can take a little bit longer. And then what would be a good beef stew without potatoes? You can do potato chunks, like dehydrated potato chunks. And sometimes they'll hold together a little better than the freeze-dried dices in a stew. But I've had dices open. That's what I'm using. So I do about a cup of dices just because I really like them potatoey. So that's basically what I put in my stew. Like I said, if you want to go with what's on sale, you can add those mushrooms and green beans. You could add peas. I don't really like mushrooms, so that's why I didn't add them in. But they are on sale. And then I like to add Chef's Choice seasoning. This is a seasoning developed by our chef Bob, and it is basically like a really delicious seasoned salt. And I use it in almost everything. So put a good teaspoon or so in there. And then this just has to set. I actually, every week I spill on my stove. This is why I cook on this stove instead of my regular stove, so I don't mess up my big stove. It's really hard to clean. So you guys, this is gonna be, you can already see the texture of that broth, the consistency. It's like a little bit thick, but mostly, I'm not sure yet. It's thin, but not like water, if that makes sense. And it'll thicken up as it goes. It smells so good. So I'm gonna let that simmer. And now I got lunch for a couple days for me and my hubby in here because it's already past dinner time where I am from. So that is recipe number 2, veggie beef stew. What was that, like less than 5 minutes, guys? And that was most of the time was opening cans and talking about it, right? So Thrive makes dinner so easy, so fast. It's super healthy. Like all of these ingredients, there's only one ingredient in them. It is carrots or potatoes or whatever. So you're getting all natural, no preservatives. So you get that long 25-year shelf life. So some of these cans, you can see if they're like the green versus the white. That's before they changed their label. So I'm actually cooking with things I bought like 10 years ago. Guess what? My dinner is cheaper than your dinner when I'm shopped that way. So just a little fun fact. The more you buy now, the cheaper it's going to be to cook later. Okay, so Krista, you're going to start on your desserts while your soup finishes. Okay, we'll send it back to you while this simmers.
Okay, awesome. Well, I want to show you how my soup is coming along here because it looks amazing. Let's see. I just want to make sure that I don't like dump my computer into my soup. That would be bad. Okay, can you see how the butternut squash is squashy, right? But all the pretty colors are in there. It's got a few more minutes to cook, so we'll wait on that. But I am going to start this really quick and get that boiling because we've got, we're going to make icing. So let me talk about the cake while that's starting to boil. So the cake, I had to, you start with pineapple. I think Jody's got some pictures to show you too. And so I started.
Do the pictures now?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah. Because she used some peaches, right, in her smoothie, right? Because peaches are, if we ever run out of peaches, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. I mean, look at these things. I literally go through a can of these like in one sitting, which is ridiculous. But I love my peaches. I'm originally from the South, so that's how I roll, right? So this picture, I actually broke up the peaches, and see, this is where you get to control what you do, right? So I like mine a little bit chunkier. I like my fruit in there. I like to find a piece of fruit in my cake, right? Instead of just have it be blended with my cake, right? So I did mine a little bit bigger, but definitely not the size of a regular peach, right? Peach slice, because that's huge. That's like a 3-inch peach slice. It's crazy. They got these from Georgia, I know. Anyway, and I broke the pineapple in like at least half, in thirds if I could, right? Some people will take an rolling pin and beat it, right? So it's even chunkier, right? Or less chunky, right? It's a little bit more powdered, right? But I like my pieces of fruit that way. So that's how I did that in the beginning. And so the recipe calls for you to actually soak that in water. And so what I did was I put my water in and let it soak for at least 15 minutes. And you can see the saran wrap in there. I put the saran wrap on top of the fruit. So I knew that everything was getting equal amounts of water, right? And so at that point, I poured that into my dry ingredients and then let that sit for another like 10 minutes. And then I put it in my pan and threw it in the oven. So, so that's how I kind of made the cake. And so this is what, and it, you can go back to that. So it came out really good, but you can actually see the chunks in my cake, right? Kind of, sort of, there's a big chunk right there at the bottom, right? And that's my preference though. That is, that's what I like. I like big chunks of fruit in my cake. So we are going to work on the icing because this has really cool icing to go with it. So, and the icing it is instant milk. Let me point this down really quick. So in here, I've got instant milk, coconut. My fingers are clean, I promise. Oh, my timer's going off. My soup is done. So in here, I've got brown sugar, instant milk, and coconut. And we're just going to boil that with some water on the stove right here. And that's going to be my icing on top of my cake. So one of these days, we're going to have a full, kitchen video setup thing, right? Because that's how we roll eventually, right? Okay. But I'm just going to pour the rest of that in there. And we're going to stir it. And I think this simmers for 2 minutes on the stove, which we're just going to let it do its thing. Okay, so while that's cooking, we are going to finish the soup. And then we're almost done on my end. All right, so I got my nice big huge monster blender here, right? And I got my soup. He's a little warm. So I'm gonna bring him over here. Oh my gosh, that smells amazing. Oh my gosh. We need smell-o-vision. Can you guys see that okay? Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking the soup from here in little batches, putting it in the blender. If I had a handheld blender, that would be cool too. So let me get my little scooper thingy. Nope, it's in the other one. All right. This looks amazing. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever made this soup, actually. I've heard really good things about it over the years, but I've never, I love the butternut squash cake. That's one of my favorites. That was a few months ago that we did that one. But I'm just pouring in two
This
big
recipe, he's actually he owns or is the chef for Blue Lemon restaurant in Utah. And this recipe was developed for that restaurant. And so you can order it there and it's so good.
I think I heard that one point. Okay. That's on, turn my thingy on. We're going to add some more. It's getting nice and pureed. There we go. because it was hot, it like sucked in the air. So that was interesting to get off. All right, we're gonna put some more in here. Yeah, I need to invest in one of those hand blender thingies. I had one, but I don't know where it went. No idea. Probably made a Goodwill pile somewhere. All right. I want to fill it too full. So I'm going to stop there. We're going to twirl this one more time. All right. This is fun. Okay, I'm going to put the rest in there. I'll wash out my pot really quick so I have a clean pot. So I can reuse it and only use one pot. Oh, it got cloudy in my house. Oh, here's our icing. I'm going to turn off the icing because it's about ready. While I got you, here's our icing. That was not simmering, but we're on live TV, right? That was flat out boiling. I'm on fire, but it smells amazing. It is amazing. Oh, there we go. Look at that consistency. That's looking good. Oh gosh, oh, you guys need to just like cook this because the smells are just amazing. Oh, okay. So as it sits, it's going to get better and more icing type, right? So we'll let this sit for a minute right over here while I finish up the soup. Swirl it one more time. All right. Ooh, this looks so good. All right, let's turn it this way so you're not like looking at my, fat stomach right now. Gonna go back, put this back in the pot. Turn the heat on, not high. And we are going to add two more things. Okay, so we're going to add the bechamel sauce, which is our white creamy sauce, right? So if you need like Alfredo, if you need just an extra creamy sauce going in anything, great, used as a thickener. But we're going to add this to it to give it that creamy feeling. And then one other thing that I'm adding to it is homemade heavy cream. So, in fact, I'll thank Jody for this because I called her at the last minute. I don't have any cream. She goes, just make it out of instant milk. I'm like, oh, ding. I always have heavy cream now. Okay. So I made this heavy cream out of using a cup of instant milk reconstituted, which is 3 tablespoons of instant milk. And the recipe is right there on the can. So this guy, I opened this one because he's dented. See, I get dented cans every once in a while. But it's 3 tablespoons to 1 cup milk. And then you add a 1/4 cup of butter and you let that shake, and it's been sitting in the fridge, and it's a heavy cream at this point. So we're going to add these 2 to my soup. And let me just make sure I did everything because I am not perfect and I am so human. Add soup in small batches to a blender and blend smooth. Place back into a clean pot. Did that. Add the cream and bechamel to soup and do for another 2 minutes. So we're going to do that. Add the bechamel.
That bechamel sauce is also gluten-free, which usually a white sauce is not. It's usually flour, butter, and milk. So it's awesome if you need gluten-free cooking. I think everything tonight is gluten-free so far. Because you used gluten-free flour in the cake, right?
I did. I forgot to mention that. Yes, that was on my list to mention, but I never look at my list when I'm actually doing this live. Okay. All right, so we're stirring that in, and I think it's just a half a cup that I need of the cream, but I made plenty, so. But you can't go wrong with butter and milk, right?
No, it'll just make it creamier and more delicious.
Right?
It is like a really rich, delicious soup. I've had it a lot of times. It's so good.
Right? Yeah. All right, so I got a couple lumps, so I'm getting out my whisk. Okay, so let me bring you back over here to show you what I got here. You guys see that? Okay, so yeah, it's a nice squash color, right? And it's pretty thick. I'm probably going to add some more milk here so that because that's what we do, right? We do it to whatever we want it to be, the consistency we want it to be. Because just because the recipe says a half a cup doesn't mean that I have to stay with a half a cup, right? But that's kind of how you cook with Thrive. I mean, I'm probably shaking like crazy, huh? I'm sorry. All right, so should I throw it back to you, Jody, while I like finish up and plate? Or
Sure. Are you gonna show dipping the icing on the cake, or you're gonna do that at the end?
oh yes, I can do that at the end, unless you want to come back to me. I don't care. Shall we do that now?
Sure.
All right, let's do that now. Oh, all right, here's my cake. Here's my knife. I'm going to make some slices here. Uh-oh. You didn't see that, did you? All right, so we're going to take this and do that, do that, do that. Because we are professionals, right?
Guys, your food looks fancier than mine.
All right.
Yours is just thick.
Now we have our icing that thickened up. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. So this reminds me of like almost a German chocolate topping kind of icing. But it looks amazing, whatever it is, right? I've never made this cake, so I am so excited. And it can be done in a meal in a jar as well, which is awesome. Jody will probably include that in the recipes. All right.
Yum.
There is that. Here's my finished product.
It's called a granny cake.
This granny made it.
I don't know why it's a granny cake. You got the granny cake, and I got better than sex peach pie. So
right. Okay, so you guys look at that, and I'll finish off the soup while I gotcha. That. Oh. No more lumps. All right. Oh, I probably need a hot pad. Okay, there we go. There's that. Let me find a scooper. I never know what tools I need. That's one thing I never prep for. Sorry, guys.
live TV, baby.
Right?
When he's served this before, he'll do kind of like a caramelized like bacon and like a maple drizzle. There's all kinds of fancy stuff you can add to this soup.
Yeah, I was gonna do a little bit of little sour cream just to add a little twang, but I'm going to add on some chives.
Awesome.
There we
Oh,
go.
I want to come eat at your house.
Come on,
I know, we're too far
it's still
apart.
outside.
Okay.
All right,
Ready
back
for
to you.
me?
Yep.
Okay, guys, this is, like I said, better than sexy pie. And my cousin Emily actually gave me this recipe, and it is one of my favorites. Everybody makes their fruit pies kind of different. Sometimes they're like a cooked, sometimes they're not cooked, but this is a cooked pie. So I did 2 cups of the peaches, which are on sale. And I love, love, love using freeze-dried fruit in pies because I feel like fruit in pies get soggy and the freeze-dried fruit holds together much better. So these have been soaking for a while. The peaches kind of seem to take a while to rehydrate. So I'm just layering this in the bottom of a pie pan. This pie crust is not gluten-free, but I made one earlier today and I found this gluten-free pie crust at the store. So if you are gluten-free, you can still have delicious pie because I have not had very good luck making pastries with gluten-free flour. So all you do is layer that fruit in the bottom of your pie tin. Then you're going to add the ingredients for the rest of it. It's like a cream pie. So this is 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, which I actually had. I didn't have to make it myself. And then 2/3 cup white sugar. This is not a diet pie. Just saying. It is it's healthy because it's gluten-free. We'll call it that. Then you need 3 tablespoons cornstarch. 1, 2, 3. This will thicken it. And then a pinch of salt. So it's actually an 1/8 teaspoon. And you guys, we're going to send you out the full recipes for all of these because we never leave you hanging. You don't have to try to write them down while we're cooking. That would be a pain. Okay, so I got a teaspoon of vanilla. This is like the easiest dessert, and my kids have been dying. They're like, you need to put a sticky note on it so somebody doesn't eat it. Because I have one who just eats whatever is sitting out. I won't name names, but so I'm just whisking the sugar, the cream. Probably would be faster if I just had a mixer, but then you have to dirty more dishes. So this is actually a sweet, delicious, creamy pie that I'm super excited to eat. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so then you're gonna pour it into your pie shell, and it's as easy as that. Like, have you ever made an apple pie, a pumpkin pie? I feel like they're a big production, but this is not. It is super easy. So here's your pie with your fruit. Look at that thick, creamy. This is a bowl that you want to lick. I promise. My dog wants to lick this. He's coming over. So then you take this and you bake it in the oven 375 for like an hour. I accidentally left mine in long, but it's okay because it's pretty gooey. So this is like TV, guys. I prepped one in advance. You know, on TV, they like pull the finished one out so you can see it. So this is my gluten-free crust. Gluten-free crusts never hold together as well as regular crusts, but this one actually tasted, I took a bite off the edge, tasted really good. So my kids were all looking at this, totally wanting to eat it. And I was like, it's gluten-free crust. And then they were trying to say it wasn't going to be good. I'm like, well, then that's fine. I'll just eat it. So I don't have anything beautiful to plate this with. So I'm just going to load it up, take a bite. See. So I let it set for quite a bit. It's been sitting this evening, probably a couple hours.
because it is a little bit runny at first. But it is a creamy pie. So, oh my gosh. Okay, you can't see how delicious or how yummy it tastes or smells, but I'm going to, I forgot my fork. I watch these one guys on Facebook and they always eat. And I'm always like, oh man, they're brave to just eat on their show, but I'm eating today because I've been wanting to taste this all day too.
That's okay. I've been eating the soup.
It's so good.
The soup is really good, but I want to eat that.
This is worth the calories right here. You need to make it. I'll have to compare because I think gluten-free pie crusts aren't quite as tasty as regular, but I'm just happy to be getting to have a dessert. Like how many times, if you're gluten-free or if you have any allergies or any health things, you know, like you always go and you're always kind of missing out. It's so good. That's delicious. Okay, sorry. I want to just eat the whole thing, but I'm going to finish chatting with you guys. Okay. Okay, guys. That was like 40 minutes. You could use any type of freeze-dried fruit to make that. Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, we like to cook based on what's on sale. So peaches are on sale. That would be delicious as a blueberry pie. I've done a blueberry pie with like the top crust, and it was awesome. So those are the March specials. The peaches were, the pineapples were, the butternut squash on special. So any of these things that we made, if you order the monthly specials, you're going to get to stock up on them at the cheaper prices and then have something that you can make with them. Because a lot of times I buy stuff and then I don't really know how to cook with it or what I want to make with this new food that I'm not used to buying in this form. So that's why we do these shows. I hope that they are helpful for you guys. So really quick, if you are unfamiliar with how to get your Thrive, I'm going to go over this really quick. The best way to get it is on the monthly delivery service. So that is how you get those monthly specials. Plus you get free shipping on orders over $99. And so you definitely want to get with whoever invited you, whether it was Krista or I or one of our team members, and talk to them about the delivery service. Now, the only thing better than getting them cheap is getting them for free. So there is a special this month also on if you host a party, like a Facebook party, a text party, an in-person party, like come and cook this food for your friends. If they order, you can get 10% worth of the value of their orders in free food. It's awesome. And some people are making a ton of free Thrive credit by doing that, but there's an extra bonus this month. So Thrive has these new meals, which are awesome for camping, 72-hour kits, to eat when you're busy. I love them. They're so good. We've had some in the past, but these ones take the cake. Like they're so much better. But this month only, if you do a party or refer any friends or whatever using your special link, you can get 3 of those meals for free. So the 3 meals are a spinach Alfredo, I think a mashed potato bowl, and I forget the other one, and I left my phone over. The chicken. Yes, Southwest chicken. So you get 3 of those just for anybody. Refer 1 person. You get the 3 meals automatically. So that's on top of whatever you earn from the 10% in value. So host a party, reach out to one of us. We'll help you do a party. It's so easy. And like show them how to cook with this food. It's so easy. It's also amazing for emergency preparedness. So pretty easy sell. People right now are interested in this kind of thing because they've seen food shortages. They are concerned about the economy and banks crashing and all kinds of stuff. So it's a good time to do that, earn some free food for yourself and help your friends and family be more prepared. And then the third way you can do it is to become a consultant. So you can share with family and friends, earn a little bit of commission. You get commission on your own order. And that way you can use your money to buy food. I know I use a lot of my paycheck to buy more food. So it just goes back into the company, I guess. But, so it's kind of fun. We have a lot of fun as a team. A couple of our team members are on here on the call. It just kind of makes you more involved and helps you be, again, more prepared. You're using it more, you're sharing more, you're helping those around you, learn new skills and have healthy emergency food in their home. So those are the 3 ways to do it. Let us know if you're interested in one of those things. And that is it for the formal demo. You guys, we made 5 courses.
in under 45 minutes. Like I can't make regular dinner in under 45 minutes when I'm cooking with regular food. So I hope that that was helpful. I'm going to stop the recording